Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. My name is Alex, and we've come off a 3-2 win against Luton Town away from home. As you can probably tell, I am not at the game. I'm not in Luton. I couldn't get a ticket for the game. The same as many people that I know. In fact, as far as I'm aware, the only person from the channel who was able to get a ticket was Father. So, respect to Father, he managed to get something sorted out. Nobody else could get it. So Father's got the vlog coming up very shortly. But what a weird game. And I seem to be saying that exact phrase about every single game I'm watching at the moment, because, I think it's very similar to Wolves and Crystal Palace in the sense that we could have easily lost this game. Don't let the scoreline change your perception of what you've seen if you did watch that game. And if you didn't watch the game, you should, because the scoreline doesn't say enough about what we actually saw. So many different elements that we could break down and that we could talk about. But we'll try and keep it simple, and we'll try and just talk about the main things. Starting off with Cole Palmer, absolutely fantastic. Man of the match, rightly so. 2 goals. The first goal was a very good goal. Just capitalising on a defensive mistake from Luton. They gave the ball away, and we took our chance, which is exactly what you want to do away from home. Silence the crowd and just get on the score sheet in the first half. And I think we did a fantastic job of that, going up 2-0 in the first half. Obviously, the goal from Madueke as well was fantastic. I mean, really good the way he was able to create that. I was really pleased to see that Pochettino started Madueke and showed some trust in him, especially after that winning penalty against Crystal Palace. And then the third goal, which Palmer scored, was fantastic as well. And I will give Jackson some credit as well, because it was a good assist from Jackson, who I thought was very interesting to watch throughout that game. I mean, obviously I wasn't in the stadium, so I get a different view, which to be honest with you, I quite like when you watch a game in a bar or at home or just on a telly, because you can see things that you will never see in the stadium. And there's things that I would say after a fan cam, if I was in Luton now, that I wouldn't have necessarily said now, just having the privilege of seeing, replays and things like that, and hearing what the commentators have to say. Jackson was very poor, in my opinion, throughout the game. But one thing he never did was drop his head and stop trying. And this is what I've been banging on about with this team the whole season. And this is why I don't believe it's acceptable to boo the players, even if we aren't getting the results at the moment, because we all know it's not been good enough. We all know it's been unacceptable and the quality is just not there. But lack of quality is not a lack of effort. The effort has been there all season. And I find it very difficult to hear Chelsea fans saying that there's no effort within this team, because that's a load of rubbish. There is effort. They're just not good enough. The majority of the players on the pitch are not good enough, mentally or ability. And that's not to say that they won't get there, because the reason we signed most of these players was the potential. But in terms of ready-made players, we are not where we need to be. We are absolutely below the standard. And I'm saying that after two wins on the bounce against Palace and against Luton. It's been a very up and down season, and it will continue to go that way, in my opinion. Even with Nkunku coming back, we need so much more. The amount of chances we can create and the movement just isn't there from a player like Jackson, for example. It's not because he's not trying. It's because he's not good enough. And even the assist he got, it was persistence. But guys, we were raving about Raheem Sterling when he scored a couple of goals against Luton and a couple of goals against Burnley. Are we going to start doing the same thing with Jackson? So I'm not saying sell him. I'm not saying he's not, I don't like him. I think he's a really weird player. And I think that he He frustrates the hell out of me. But he does show a spirit. And that is all you need from a team to build the foundations. If you have the spirit, then everything else can come together. That's why Alfie Gilchrist, that's why he's so popular within the fan base. Not only did John Terry say he was going to be the next big thing, but Pochettino brought him on instead of Cole Palmer to try and close out the game. So, when I'm seeing a player like Alfie, he's the one conducting the back line. Where is the leadership? Where is the experience? There is none. And that's why Thiago Silva was angry at full time, and he was talking with Gallagher, he was talking with Enzo, he was clearly upset. And, to see that after a win is a little bit concerning, especially the way we didn't even close it out. Let's be honest, we didn't close it out. I mean, that was rubbish. The last 10 minutes, Luton were all over us. And it is an ownership issue, because we're not signing players that are able to just close out games in a simple manner. We were 3-0 up. And I was saying to my friend Pete, I was saying this is really enjoyable. This is lovely to be winning a game 3-0. Next thing you know, Luton score one. They score again, 3-2. What the hell's going on? What the hell is going on? Where's the structure here? Where is the leadership? Nobody knows how to close a game out, people. This does not bring me much confidence going into the next few games. But having said that, we've got a nice little run. Fulham, Preston and Middlesbrough twice before we play Liverpool late in January. This is a really, really weird game for me to see. But even if we would have lost this game, it doesn't change my perspective on the season. It doesn't change my opinion on what I've been seeing throughout. Pochettino is still the right man. And he is still the right man to lead this group of young players forward. And I think if you were to get rid of Pochettino, all of the hard work that you did to bring him in and bring these young players in would be undone, because he is allowing players to develop. And although his tactics can be questioned, and some of his positional decisions in terms of Levi Colwell at left back, we've seen a few other weird ones, it's not always about tactics, guys. It really isn't. Tactics is a massive thing, don't get me wrong. But if you have the best team, even if you're tactically not quite as good, the better players will produce you the results. And the players aren't good enough to do that. They are not good enough. I'm seeing Broha up top with Jackson, and people are saying, why are you starting this guy? Well, Pochettino's starting him because he doesn't have anyone else to start. Right, and Kunku, you don't want to get him injured straight away. He came off the bench. Obviously he's going to get minutes. You've got to work with the squad you have, especially with a busy December period. But it's about confidence. It's about confidence. And I think we're starting to see that with a number of players who are being given the confidence to play in this Chelsea team. I think Mudryk is a key example of that. Madueke is showing the trust from the manager is coming in. He's started to give him minutes, results, and Madueke will continue to get minutes. You'll see that. He's not going to get dropped anytime soon. Not playing the way he did, getting the goal he did, the way he did, because individual moments of brilliance are going to create great moments for this team. And of course, we want to build a great team, but you can't build a great team without great players. And we don't have great players at the moment. So it's up to Poch to make these players who aren't good enough better than what they are. And people talk about development and the fact that they're not seeing the players develop. Development doesn't happen in half a season. It happens over a season. And that's why you look at the table last season, Arsenal were top. They didn't win the league, did they? So does that really mean anything? So I'm going to look at this at the end of the season and really make a decision on how I think Poch has developed these players. I don't think it's fair to make that assessment this early on. We're only at the halfway point in the season. And also, I think a huge factor in terms of the results and the way that the team plays is going to be based on the signings that we make in the summer, and also in January. January, that's what I meant. We need a striker. We need, I mean, the way things are going, we need a left back. I don't understand why Colwell's playing as a left back. If getting a left back encourages Pochettino to play Colwell in his natural position, then, you know, I'm for that. And we just need to allow the players that we have to develop. And just one last point before we do wrap this up. If these owners think that the right thing to do is to get rid of Conor Gallagher, who was, again, I think he was fantastic today. You know, so much energy, trying to control that midfield and just showing a bit of passion. God, I talk about passion all the time, but it's important in this sport. This isn't baseball, guys. Yeah, it's not a stop and start sport. This is fluid. This is going the whole way, which means you can't slow down. Otherwise, someone else is going to beat you and you're going to lose. So if these guys, if Eghbali and Bowley decide that the best decision for Chelsea Football Club is to get rid of the player who's played the most minutes this season for us, the most starts, if you want to get rid of Conor Gallagher, then I'm sorry. It's not good enough. It's an absolute disgrace. And I'm not just saying that as a Chelsea fan who likes to see a bit of passion. Gallagher is producing output. He is creative. He wins the ball. He initiates the press. He knows what it means to play for the club, and he's a local lad. These things are so important. I just can't get my head around. You know, if they want to accept a bid for Tottenham for Gallagher, I think that's an absolute disgrace. So this January window is going to be really, really vital in terms of this ownership as well, because, you know, Pochettino can only do this so much with this group, especially with X amount of injuries. But yeah, we managed to close it out. 3 points again. You know, I'm happy for the result, but it's more relief than anything. But listen, let me know what you guys think. I'm sure some of you will agree and some of you will disagree as well. I will see you at the next game. I'll be there, and all the best.